Right now, I'm on the brink of losing it. I feel the only way to maintain my sanity is to share what happened and record it and post it here. And see if anyone has ever experienced anything like this. It started about a week ago. My girlfriend and I had just gotten home from an anniversary celebration on Friday night. It was around 11:30 or so. We live in a little house in the Minneapolis suburbs. Our first order of business after any long absence is letting the dog out. As soon as I opened the door to the garage, she dashed out and made a beeline for the backyard, like usual. So, I followed her into the backyard, and my girlfriend went into the house. It's fairly dark back there, especially after being in the brightly lit garage. It always takes me a good 30 seconds for my eyes to fully adjust, but I know it so well I could walk back there blindfolded. I followed Lucky, who was bounding around joyously, snapping at moths and generally killing time before going back in. She's a champion time waster. If it's late at night during the week, I hustle her back in fairly quickly. This time, I'll let her go at her jollies and take a deep breath of smoky, chill fall air. It was a bright night with most of the full moon. A perfect night in my opinion. Fall is my favorite time of the year. When I looked up at that house, I froze, and my blood ran cold. I have never actually felt that happen, but I can tell you that it did that time. I've never been so struck dumb with absolute sheer terror in my life. It was a feeling I would get to know pretty well over the next week. Someone was standing in the bedroom window, and it was definitely not her. The bedroom in the second floor, and there's a large sliding glass door. Someone, or something, was standing there looking at me. A mild expression on its face. I knew for a fact it wasn't her, because I could see her in the window next to that one washing his hands and leaving the bathroom. The thing in the doorway was tall, thin, and had basically expressionless features. It was staring at me with black eyes. I watched as Jesse left the bathroom, hesitated in the hall for a second, then turned right and headed to the kitchen. I watched the light go on in there. I opened my mouth to yell, but the windows were shut tight in the chill of night, and I didn't think I could form any words anyway. I fumbled for my cell phone, tried calling her. The phone light just rang, so I sent them the following text with shaking hands. "Get out of there right now! It's an emergency!" I watched her to see if she got the text. My hands were shaking and I could see my panicked breath fogging in front of me in the moonlight. She wasn't getting it. Snuffing down by my feet made me nearly leap out of my skin. I looked down to see Lucky, smiling doggy face with a wagging tail. When I looked back, the thing was gone. It took a few slow, dreamy seconds to register it, that it might be heading to the kitchen. I beat Lucky to the garage, which never happens, while dialing 911 on my phone. When a person answered, as I dashed through the garage, I screamed something about an intruder and to send the police. I will never know my exact words. I burst into the house screaming with the dog right behind me. Jessie was at the counter in the kitchen and spun around when I burst in, dropping the glass she had been holding and cursing when it shattered. We searched the house from top to bottom. There was no one in the house, and in fact, there was not a single sign of forced entry. Either the person had a key, or they simply could not have been in the house. The cops showed up, and I did more thorough search. I was practically in a heap by that time, and I couldn't stop shaking. I don't remember a big chunk of the cop's visit. I vaguely remember everyone discovering that Jesse's phone was missing. The next few days were uneventful. I slowly started to calm down, but still refused to be home alone at night. Jesse's phone never showed up. She swore she remembered bringing it home from the restaurant because she checked his email in the car. But we checked with them anyway. Eventually, she reported it stolen and got a new phone. He decided to go with a new number because she was tired of all telemarketing calls on her cell phone. That's when I started getting picture texts. The first one was a pic of Lucky, grinning in a goofy doggy way. I assumed that Jessie had taken it the morning before she left for work. The second pic was of the two cats sleeping on the bed, cuddled together. I was busy at work when that one came through, and didn't see it. The next one until I was leaving for the day. The third one showed at the house from the front. I was halfway home when the fourth one came through. It showed the bedroom window with a faint outline of the figure standing in the door. I got on the phone and asked Jessie what she was doing at home. Through a heated, angry discussion, I realized she hadn't sent me any of it. To prove it, she sent me a text while we were talking. I hadn't even labeled her new number yet. The pics were coming from the missing phone. I rushed home and, finally fueled by anger and frustration rather than fear, searched the house again. No one. One thing that I noticed that was particularly troubling was that in the pic of the front of the house, a package that had arrived that day was clearly visible sitting on the front of steps. It was taken that day for sure. The next morning, which was yesterday morning, I woke up to another text from that number. I started crying when I saw it, and I haven't fully gotten my sanity back. This one is of the two of us sleeping. What the fuck is this thing? Why is it harassing me? It seems to be intent on driving me insane. I just got another picture text. This one is of me sitting at the computer writing this entry. This one is of me sitting at a computer recording this entry. The angle seems to be through the window, but the curtains are closed right now. This is also